The goddess of all creatures is in love with a man who ate the demon meat. They encounter a spirit who is not among yokai, and now they have to defeat the spirit, but our story doesn't start there. On a fine day, Koto meets Kuro outside a hospital. She asks if he remembers her, but he does not. She gives him a flashback of the time when they met 2 years ago at the same place. Some children pushed him, but Koto saved him from falling. Kuro promised to never forget what Koto did for him. After the flashback, Koto apologizes for forgetting her. That small meeting was special for Koto as she fell in love with Kuro at first sight. For him, she seems like a cow with big horns, but none of the people around her sees Kuro like that. He again introduces herself and asks Koto to date her again as now he is single. Upon asking, he tells Koto that he left and ran away alone when a monster appeared in front of them while Kuro and Seiki were spending time. She corrects him and tells him that the monster ran away because he was scared of Kuro. This also frightens Saki. This surprises Kuro as he not told this to anyone, so he questioned Koto about her identity. She explains that she is the goddess of all creatures. Monsters are spirits are known as yokai. Koto still couldn't believe this, so Kuro asks him to find a newspaper 5 years before, and that he would find the story of a girl who went missing, but when recovered she didn't have an eye and a leg. As Koto is on her way back, a spirit appears in front of her to ask for her help. The spirit tells her about the monster in the library, but she dismisses the matter as she was busy following Kuro. Next day, Kuro meets Koto after he had read the newspaper. He tells her he is still not convinced as this does not prove her as the goddess of wisdom. Their conversation is interrupted when a fox reaches Koto and tells her that the monster had destroyed the library. When the monster notices Kuro, he is also horrified to see him and goes to hide. This was enough to convince Kuro. After this, both heads to the library. There, Kuro tries to handle the situation but fails. Koto and Kuro starts to run. After a while, Kuro stops and faces the monster, as he is immortal and his body can regenerate. Monster who tried eating Kuro's flesh dies at the spot. Upon questioning, Kuro reveals that he is immortal because he ate 2 kinds of demon meat. Next day, when Kuro arrives at the hospital, he finds Koto, who asks about her injured hand. To rest her assured, he shows her the hand and tells her that one type was of the mermaid meat, which made his body to regenerate. But he does not disclose the information about the second meat he ate. Just as Kuro is about to leave, Koto invites him to join her on the visit to meet the giant serpent, one of the mythical creatures. Koto rejects the offer. As a result, Koto has to go by herself. During her meeting with the serpent, he tells that humans have stopped sending prayers to him, as humans does not believe him as the god of water now. The snake asks question about the recent murder caused by Tanya. Koto fails to give a proper answer to the snake. After several few attempts, Koto was finally able to give the proper reason to the snake of why Tanya didn't try to hide the body. She tells him that she had an affair with Machai, who died in the arms of the women he was cheating with. Machai and his co-worker corrupted the system and made money. In order to not being suspected, Machai and his co-worker died in each other's arms. At that time, Tanya was pregnant with Machai's baby. She ended up having a miscarriage. After years, she was able to get her revenge on her boss. After Koto is done, she finds Kuro standing in the corner. Koto and Kuro will soon leave. On their way back, Koto tells Kuro that she told a lie to the snake because Tanya wanted the snake to eat the body. 2 years have passed and Saki now works as a police officer. Weird cases are being reported in the city of Makazuraka. According to all the victims of these cases, they were all able to see a ghost which distracted them. To find a solution, Seiki goes to the latest crime scene where a boy was crushed into the river, and there she finds Koto. They both find the black-headed spirit of a girl named Nanis-kan standing in front of them. Saki tries to fight the Steel Lady, but it is easy for the Steel Lady to make Saki unconscious. Koto jumps in and very soon the Steel Lady leaves. This makes Saki wonder about Koto, so she tells her that she is not a normal human and also that she must forget what happened right now. Saki won't let Koto leave and tells her to allow her to take her to the police station for further questions and treatment. That was the point where Koto got to know about Saki. Saki takes her home, and when Koto tries to make Saki jealous, she tells her that Kuro is not happy as she can see in pictures. Soon enough, Koto leaves. In order to defeat the spirit, both have to know about Nanis-kan. Saki and Koto have started to know more about Nance. We have a flashback to the time when Nance was alive. When she was 18, she got into her acting career. One day, her father died after falling from the stairs. Rumors were spread that she killed her father because he disapproved of her being an actress. Nance was discovered dead under steel bars in a construction site a few days later. Kodu is also seen working hard to find a way to defeat the Steel Lady. The reason is that every creature is afraid of the Steel Lady, so she must do her duties as their goddess. The following night, Kodu is having dinner in a restaurant when a spirit informs her of the Steel Lady's presence. Kodu rushes to the location and finds Kuro and the Steel Lady fighting with each other. Saki also arrived at the location. Kuro was seen struggling with the ghost when Nana's killed him, but as he was immortal, his body regenerated and he was able to dodge all of Nance's moves. Saki was standing in shock as she was unable to process anything. So Kuro tells her that her grandmother fed him the meat of mermaids and Kyuden. The powers of Kyuden can only be used to predict the future when he dies. And this was the reason he was able to dodge all of her moves. Back at the fight, Kuro breaks her neck in order to kill her. But unknown to him, she is also immortal. So she immediately fixes herself and leaves. Kuro meets Saki and Kodu. The three then head to Saki's apartment. Kodu explains that the Steel Lady is a different type of ghost as she was created by people's imaginations. The people gave her a name and an appearance, and that was how she came into reality. Saki is still seen as confused as to how so many people can think of her as the same witch. Kodu tells about the mysterious website that Saki and Kodu have both seen before. Kodu suggests that there is only one way to defeat her, by rewriting her story. If they succeed in doing so, it will cease to exist. To make this happen, Kodu demanded more information on this case. Thus, she got the report file for this case, after which the trio heads to the location where this incident occurred. Kodu uses her power there and summons a ghost. The ghost agrees that the incident is true and that she was crushed by metal bars. But the matter of fact was that she didn't even try to save herself. She stood there. The group decides to replace the story with a different narrative and use Kuro's power to see into an alternative future. We can see that Saki's coworker also became the victim of the Steel Lady. As more rumors keep spreading, it seems like it is becoming impossible for Kodu to defeat the Steel Lady. The trio meets again at Saki's place where they decide to come up with a story. After thinking for some time, Saki and Kuro go out to have dinner while Kodu sleeps for some time. The group agree that if they came across the Steel Lady, Kuro would have to find Kodu as she has to complete a task. Once Saki and Kuro are alone, she gets a chance to ask the reason behind him dating Kodu, although he loves Rika. Kuro's cousin Rika had been in the hospital for over 3 years, so the two decide to meet her. When Saki met Rika, Kuro told her that she also had the same powers as him, although she was sick, as she also ate the same 2 meats as him. When Kodu finally wakes up, she sits in Saki's car. Saki's question to Kodu implies that she was aware of Rika's existence, to which Kodu agrees and tells Saki that sometime before Rika was discharged, so Kuro brought her home so that she could get better. During her stay, Rika used to do her 2 activities, among which one was going to the bathroom and the other was using the computer. But no one questioned her or seemed to mind her doing so, as they thought that she was just using her own way to heal. This surprises Saki as she didn't expect Kodu to know everything. Kodu continues the story and tells her that some days before all of this started, Rika disappeared. And that was also the time Kuro told Saki not to try to find him, as he was also looking for her everywhere. Just as she is finishing speaking, Saki and Kodu begin to connect the dots. The way she draws is the same as the way the Steel Lady appears, and she could be the one who spent her time building that Wikipedia page before disappearing. This makes sense as she has the same powers as Kuro, so she was able to predict the future. That was the reason it became very difficult for Kuro to defeat her. Saki and Kuro tell Kodu about their theory, and this revelation makes him sad. He would have never thought that Rika could do something like this. Their conversation is interrupted when a spirit appears before Kodu and tells her about the Steel Lady's presence. As they pick up Kuro, Kodu decides that either today or tomorrow will be Stella's last day. The group comes up with a plan. Kuro will head out to fight, while Kodu, being a goddess, will spread rumors and stories so that people may start to think that all of this was just a lie. The group works according to the plan as Kuro goes to fight. Rika was trying to use her powers to predict the future, as she has died a zillion times. Kuro was doing the opposite. On the other side, Kuro begins to spread rumors. With her first story, she tries to catch the reader's attention and make them believe that the Steel Lady is a fake, as this would weaken her. Her first story tells the people that the Steel Lady is a person. The reason behind her acting like a spirit is that no investigations would be conducted if the story's main villain was a ghost. Her first story fails as the audience starts to take the Steel Lady's side, making her stronger. Kotoko does not give up and comes up with 2 new stories. However, these stories were insufficient to pique the reader's interest as people continued to ask questions, weakening Kotoko's position. After 3 consecutive unsuccessful attempts, Kotoko decides to work on her 4th plan, which is to release her final story. She starts the story by telling people that Nanis is still alive. When her father died and rumors put her in the spotlight, she wanted to find an escape. Due to the rumors, everyone, including her dearest friends and family, had left her alone. One day, she meets someone who looks exactly like her copy. So she befriends her and they begin to spend time together. After some time, she asks her duplicate to act like her as she does not want to be in the spotlight anymore. Her friend agrees and thinks of it as a favor. Her duplicate changes her appearance and starts living like her Nanis. On a rainy night, the real Nanis tells the other girl to go to the construction site as she will arrive there shortly. The other girl agrees. And when she reached there, Nanis made her unconscious, after which she threw the heavy metal bars on herself to fake her own death. After the duplicate's death, she left the city and used her identity to start her new life. Successfully, this story was able to catch the reader's attention and they began to ask questions. Like, if that's all true, why is she still alive, while the others thought that it could be possible that the real Nanis created the spirit and made her website so that she can make herself remembered among people. As of now, people suspect the presence of the Nanis, also known as the Steel Lady. This makes the Steel Lady weaker and weaker. Kuro was able to kill her at one point. Riko congratulates Kotoko on her success in helping Kuro defeat the Steel Lady, but she promises to return again. This makes Kuro worry, as she will return as she is immortal, but she can also use her powers to create anything, including a god. The next day, the group notices that the website Riko made for Nanis has been shut down. People are beginning to believe that she is still alive and that she did all of this on purpose. Later, Kuro and Seki go to dinner while Kuro sleeps due to exhaustion. During the dinner, Kuro also explains her worry as Riko is trying hard to be a human once again, and now she is using her powers to turn into one. This problem is not as big as the thought that Kuro has, that she is the only one who can end Riko because of her being the goddess. This was the reason he went out to look for Nanis alone, so that he could not put anyone else's life in danger. And now Riko would try to kill her because she knows that Kuro would do everything possible to stop her. Seki goes home happily, as now she is happy and pretty confident that she will never meet Kuro again. On the other hand, Kuro wakes up irritated with the thought that she left Kuro with Saki for more than a day. Now the only task is to find and finish Riko once and for all.